everyone, I'm Dr. Z. I'm a clinical psychologist specializing in transgender care. Welcome to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about why you may want to sabotage. Why would you not want to sabotage your transition? Tell me about that, or your expression of gender. Because there's a lot of reasons why you would actually want to sabotage not only your transition but exploring your gender. Somebody asked me about this a while back, being very curious why. If this is something that in alignment is who I am, and if this is something that ultimately will make me happy, why do I continue to engage in self-sabotaging behavior, and where does it stem from? So, what is a self-sabotaging behavior? Simply put, self-sabotage behavior is when we know we're out to engage in something. We know we're out to do a particular thing that is either good for us or something that's important to us, but yet we find ourselves avoiding it. Yet we find ourselves engaging in something else. Yet we find ourselves coming up with justifications or rationalizations or any kind of mental reasoning of why we don't necessarily need to do or engage in this behavior. And the reason why we self-sabotage are numerous, but in terms of a gender diverse population, the reason why you may and are most likely sabotaging, not only in taking the steps toward your transition, taking steps toward coming out to your partners, taking steps toward coming out to your family and friends, taking steps to scheduling the appointments you need. Maybe you have prescription, but you're sitting on it and not taking any steps on taking the hormones that most likely you very much need. Not taking any steps to start hair removal process or surgical consultation that you need. So why, if this is something that you need clearly, not necessarily even want, but need, why do you sabotage and not engage in it? Well, here's the thing. So gender dysphoria is, like I say many times, is a beast. It's a monster. It's a monster that tends to come in and tends to attack you on a very visceral, physical, mental, psychic, emotional level, and you don't know when it's going to attack or how it's going to attack you. And on top of having gender dysphoria, knowing that for some of you at least, if you know that you need to undergo gender transition and you need to take those steps in order to minimize the monster or get rid of the monster, well, let's admit, transition is scary. I have yet to meet an adult client who told me that they're so eager and excited and they just cannot wait. Every single person I worked with had some fear one way or another. Whether they were afraid to start hormones, or they were afraid to have their first surgery, or they were afraid to come out. There's always fear. And the fear is there because all of you know this better than anybody else on the planet, that transition is not a walk in the park. It's not. It's not easy. It's not quick, it's not free of cost, it's not without losses. It is what? Expensive. It is emotionally difficult. It may come with losses. It will come with a lot of emotional pain. It comes with a lot of things you don't want at a cost of getting what you need. But in order to get what you need, you have to go and experience a lot of things you don't want, and frankly, to be honest with you, you don't even fucking deserve to experience. But sadly, you do, because of dysphoria and the society we live in today and how people see and understand gender issues. So, do you think you're going to self-sabotage, going into the woods of that I call transition, where all of those things may happen, and you may or may not meet all of those horrible things and you pass out of the forest? Yes. You absolutely will self-sabotage because you do not want to go through the potential pain. You don't want to go through those potential losses. So self-sabotage goes hand in hand with transition. For those of you who are considering transition of any form, social, medical, surgical, doesn't really matter. There's always going to be an element of sabotage for that reason. Another element why you're always going to have self-sabotage is because you don't want to, there's part of you that doesn't want to change. Primarily because you, even though it is so painful to live the life in this, the presentation of the genders that you find yourself in right now, even though it is so painful to go through life, being seen through that lens, you have learned, a lot of you have learned and become masters at tolerating that pain. And because you have learned to tolerate that pain, you kind of tell yourself, maybe I can tolerate it longer, versus being confronted with a whole new bag of pain in transition woods that I don't even know how that's going to make me feel, or if I'm going to, frankly, make it through the woods. So self-sabotage is going to be present, and it's going to be present and manifest in all of you in different ways through, like I said, avoidance. Especially when suddenly the dysphoric monster tends to kind of go away a little bit. Maybe because you're over occupying yourself with work or throwing yourself into some other things, it tends to a little bit subside. That voice tends to be a little bit quieter. And then you tell yourself, this is not so bad, so maybe I can live with this. That's also a form of self-sabotage. Another form of self-sabotage would be not following up with your appointments. Like I said, getting your prescription and sitting on the prescription of hormones, afraid to take it. Or start voice classes and drops them, or start electrolysis and drops them, or start binding your chest and stop binding your chest. It's going to take in all of those, in other words, it's going to manifest as resistance. And one thing you need to know about self-sabotage, it's normal. It's a normal part of transition. Of course, you are bound to self-sabotage. It's a painful, potentially painful and scary process. And hopefully for a lot of you, it's not going to be as bad as you anticipate. And when you go through those woods, it's not going to come with all of this the fearful losses that everybody's talking about. And for some of you, there's going to be some of it. But here's the thing, guys. I have seen again and again that all of you are so much stronger. And even though you will go through a pain when you're going through transition, there's going to be some element of pain. Let's be honest. Even though there's going to be an element of pain, here's the thing. You're feeling pain right now regardless. The pain you're enduring right now is not getting you anywhere, meaning you're suffering so much and there's not even an end goal in mind, or there's not even an exit on a way through that pain. So at least when you're going through transition, if transition is for you, there's going to be pain, a different pain, and maybe you'll be terrified whether you can handle it, and you're going to learn that you can handle it. But at least you're going to be on the way out of that fucking pain. At least you're going to be on the way out of it. So isn't that a better trade-off? But sabotage is going to be there. Welcome it, make it your best friend, recognize when it's happening, know how to stop it when it gets you really deep into avoidance. But other than that, you're going to self-sabotage, because transition is not a joke. Transition is not fun. Transition is not what a lot of anti-trans people make it, that, look, people are switching their genders. No, nobody's switching their genders. It's not an overnight thing. It is a hard process. It is a painful process, and it's a process that nobody should ever, ever, ever endure. So self-sabotage is just you protecting yourself from that pain, but realize that you're trading one for another one at least has a possibility of the exit. So hopefully this was helpful. Share, comment below. Tell me, how do you find yourself self-sabotaging? In what ways do you tend to self-sabotage? What does it look like for you? How do you especially catch yourself when you self-sabotage? So share below. Love reading all your comments, and I'll see you guys all next time. Bye.